never stay, Styx point, shall rot away your brain. Bad to the bones, bruise the furnace, pick up for days on days. And the great October's Boba Fett have bad writings to slay. We are all damage of damage. We are all damage of damage. We are all damage. The qualified. The qualified. We are prepared.
And hello and welcome to another brand new episode of The Qualified. I'm Jedi Johnson 22, joined this week by the always steady Styx Boy 73, the ball buster Brucifer, and the architect joesduelin. Domtober is not with us. He's pulling a double.
We never know.
We don't know.
We never know. He said, if I get old, I might bump in if I make it back in time.
So, at the end of the day, it depends on how the trains are running. At the end of the day,
so we might get a Domtober appearance.
He might grace us with his presence.
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas? Another week. It seemed like a long week for me. I don't know about you guys.
It was. It was.
I'm just happy we're going up to 65 next week.
Yay!
No more snow.
Before second winter strikes or third winter strikes.
Actually,
That's
this
right.
weekend is daylight savings time, which doesn't mean anything to you mainlanders, but for me, that means the show starts an hour earlier for me next week.
That's right. Saturday night, everyone gets to go back in time.
Hopefully, I remember. There was one time I think it was
forward in time.
It was on.
Wow.
It was on the Star Wars show that I had forgotten.
Yeah,
I just
3 off.
kept sleeping.
It's all right. It's a Star Wars show.
Cuts into your lunchtime. I know.
I just kept right on sleeping, and I woke up and then went into a panic mode. And I checked the text, and I saw something from Pete like, "Did anybody tell Jedi?" Or I was like, "Oh shit!" But yeah. So this week, something a little new. Got a little burned out on doing the whole Guinness Records thing. To be honest, Canada was just kicking our ass, and we were just putting up embarrassing numbers every week. So we got tired of
David Rush every week.
David Rush trying to carry the water every week. So I did something a little different this week. Actually, just threw it together. Kind of, I didn't know what we were going to talk about to kind of break the ice. And then my buddies, I was telling you in our high school chat thread, sent a story, and I said it's kind of sad, and it's going to make you mad, and it's funny at the same time. So
That's a lot of
hometown news.
Hometown
news. So this is from this happened. This story is from my hometown area, not my hometown. This little town is about 13 miles from my hometown in Texas. Had some interesting news that my buddy shared with me. Dumb criminal this week.
Oh, there's lots of them.
Those are always fun. So a man accused of dumping 6 puppies in a box labeled with address. Let me emphasize that for you. Labeled with his address on a Trinity Road. A man in Angelina County is accused of leaving 6 adorable puppies in a cardboard box on a Trinity County road. According to Sheriff Woody Wallace, who, by the way, I went to high school with, he's a friend of mine, said that Mr. Michael Lee Dale left 6 puppies on a Trinity Road.
Always three names.
Always 3 names. On a Trinity Road in a cardboard box with his address on it.
How convenient.
Yeah, so
very convenient.
Woody, my buddy Woody that I went to high school with is a damn good sheriff. I don't think he needed all of his intuitive skills to solve this one, but he is a damn good sheriff. He's been doing it for a long time. So these adorable puppies were not harmed. They're all safe.
That's all that matters. The dog's okay.
Good story. You hear stuff like this. People before everybody starts talking, small town hicks, blah blah blah. They love animals, but you have every once in a while you have a knucklehead that just does something sickening like this, and thank God the puppies were okay. I don't know.
I appreciate that the Angelina County Jail still has the uniforms that are the black and white stripes versus the orange prison jumpsuits.
Oh yeah. But, you can see it in the picture. Yeah, he's still wearing the stripes there
because it lets you feel like an old timey criminal.
So shame on you, Mr. Michael Lee Dale, with 3 names.
Fuck you, Dale.
I don't know if you're going to do any time. Looks like you'd probably get a $30,000 fine at least, which is not nothing to sneeze at for most people anyway.
Yeah,
but he could do some jail time. I mean, he is doing jail time. I don't know if he does any prison time or not, but shame on you.
Yeah. Hopefully, at least lots of community service. Preferably cleaning up dog shit.
That was this little break in the ice story of hometown news. And by the way, if anybody out there has any hometown news, if you're from a small town and you want to share something funny, send it to me. Send it to my IG, DM me. We'd be glad to talk about it here on the show. But I figured this story had a happy ending. It'll piss you off, but it did have a happy ending, and it gave us something to talk about while people make their way over.
Not a story with the type of happy endings I like, but a happy ending.
Yeah, different kind of happy ending. Maybe one of these days we're trying to cool our heels a little bit on some of the stuff. So,
Joe, listen, Joe. It's hard to.
I'm sure we'll have those kind of happy endings.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find good, feel good stories about fluffers. So I'm sorry, Joe.
It is.
Yeah, it's a dying art.
It is.
Very much so.
So who we got with us
that
today?
Is breaking. That is breaking the ice this week.
Nice. Well,
who we got hanging out in the chat?
As usual, it was a little too much for Bruce Fur to handle, so he had to duck out.
Puppies.
Let's say hello to the chat. And GT Comic has lost control, and he is trying to break YouTube. I can only.
He was like, I'm not getting all the podium. I'm going to clear the whole podium.
GT has said, "F you guys," and who is it? Who is it that's normally knocking him out of silver
Tommy.
or bronze?
Tommy.
Yeah, he's like, "F you too, Tommy." Does this give me every spot on the podium? Yeah, I think it gives you your own section in the bleachers.
Yeah.
GT. Congratulations, Tommy. We are sorry. Someone should go check on GT. Yeah, I think he has become Mega Mind and has decided his target of evil is YouTube. And damn near broke it.
Tommy got knocked down to a participation trophy this week.
I was muted.
Knocked off the podium.
I'm going to take this moment and mention to GT that he was first this week, that I will be seeing him, should he be there, at Niagara Falls Comic Con this year.
There you go.
In his hometown, right there, Niagara Falls Comic Con. Feel it. Feel the power.
Calm down.
Feel the power.
Can we have some
take
syrup chugging contests?
Yeah, we hope he's there. That will
Poutine chugging contest. Oh, the gravy.
Meatwad number 1.
Hey, Meatwad.
Hey, Meatwad.
Sometimes I'm sure Meatwad has joined us before. I don't know. Sometimes these names just strike me as being the first time. So Meatwad number 1. Good evening, everyone. What's going on, Meatwad? Hello, Mama Bear.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Tyson is here again, taking a break. Okay, so Tyson sent me a. He sent me a.
Figure out.
He sent me a DM after the show last week. He said, Jedi, I'm going to take your recommendation. We're going to start putting Matt in different locations around the world. So I wish I could blow it up and get a. Is it Grand Canyon, Tyson? You'll
looks like the Grand Canyon. He's
Painted Desert. Painted Desert, maybe. Yeah.
Dropping a 2 into the canyon.
Where in the world? Yeah, where in the world is Matt? Nice.
No, yeah, Mama Bear, we're sorry. Canada is just they put us out of business. We just can't. Actually, I think we put ourselves out of business. Mr. Rush has just got to get another gimmick if he wants us to.
Yeah, we can't
be
watch him
proud
putting
of
balls.
this every
Yeah.
week. Every week,
can't
more
watch him-
balls.
Can't watch him putting
Hey,
balls. in his mouth every day.
Zaggy's here. The show can start now.
Hey.
Zaggy's here. Stranger danger, don't touch me. Yeah, I thought Styx was using the force on us there for a little bit. I don't know. It's just kind of going at us there.
That's how far away from the camera I am.
You don't drink poutine. I didn't know what poutine was probably until about a year ago. I'm gonna be honest with
It
you.
is so delicious. I'm a sucker for cheese curds.
It is freaking good. I went up to. I don't even think I had Canadian poutine. I had like American poutine in Washington State where they try and make poutine. But I gotta say, if Canadian poutine is better than Washington State at the casino poutine, and I'm sure it probably is, that's like what do you call that? Nectar of the gods. That's some good stuff.
French fries and gravy is an amazing combination.
Yeah, that's yeah, you nailed it. Gold medal on that one because that's good. Not good for my cholesterol, not at all. But
I don't give a shit.
It goes good with hockey. I'll say that.
It goes good with anything.
yup guy. I don't know what does that
Even
mean.
curling.
Tyson? What does yup guy mean? Where's he at? We want to know where he's at.
Yuki?
Oh, it was a Grand Canyon. Just remembered 30 minutes ago I went with Grand Canyon. Okay, all right. So Joe gets the point. It's a good guess. I would have. Joe said good Grand Canyon, or else I would have gone with Grand Canyon.
I think he said
I went
Grand
with Painted Desert.
I think Bruce had it too.
Yeah.
Both good.
Bruce. I didn't know. I didn't know Bruce had said anything.
I look forward to seeing where he is.
I thought he had popped out again, and then
I'm Googling.
Yeah.
Too topical.
Yeah, I think putting him on the moon would be
little too blue.
easy.
A little too
That'd be a
blue
good
for
giveaway.
Friday.
Honorary Canadians. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
As long as honorary means we don't have to pay the tariffs, we're just honorary. Then I'm okay.
Yeah, we do.
You got Zippy's. Zippy's. Does Zippy's have poutine? Don't tell me if Zippy's has poutine, Jeffrey. Does it have poutine?
Oh, Zippy's.
My wife. Zippy's is a
what it is.
restaurant here. Zippy's is like the Hawaii Waffle House. Maybe they're all over the place. I mean, they're like everywhere.
Oh, hey, Waffle House is a thing unto its own. It is a glorious
Hawaiians
to Southern America.
love Zippy's. It is everywhere. My wife does not like Zippy's for some reason because my wife's kind of a food snob. But anytime me and my son can sneak away and go to Zippy's, Zippy's one of those places that has everything you can imagine on the menu. Just everything. It's all there. And if they had poutine, nice. Terry, what's going on? Terry Hill, rest in peace, Space Ghost.
Yeah, we got some George Lowe topical
Got some news
information
on that?
in the show tonight.
Grumpy? What's going on, Grumpy? I think that's it. I think we've said hello to everybody. If we
Grumpy.
missed you, sorry.
What's up, Grumpy?
All righty. Bruce, you ready?
I think I'm ready. Tonight we got Outside Looking In, books that were not hot enough for the Cbsi Hot 10 show. First up, we have Tech Jacket #1, about a dozen sales averaging $135. CGC 9.8 sold for $175. This is here because of Invincible. This book had the first 5 pages of Invincible #1, and also Tech Jacket made an appearance this past week on the Invincible TV show.
Oh,
He did. Oh, I'm an episode behind. So the one that just dropped, he was in.
Yes.
This guy was in. Ah, okay. I'll probably watch that tonight. I am one behind.
I'm
It's been
a season
good.
and a half
It's been
behind.
very
so.
good. Yeah, it's been good.
Oops, sorry.
Oh,
We
sorry.
canceled each other out. What's going on?
Uno.
SB Uno.
Yeah.
Good day.
Welcome,
Good
buddy.
day.
Good day.
You
Cracking
guys got,
Coopers for me down there.
You guys got poutine down under?
They got spider poutine.
Sure.
Loaded
kill
with
ya.
spider venom.
Don't eat the poutine in Australia.
Even the poutine will kill you.
It'll give you gas.
You can eat boy on a.
Did you guys see this week's Invincible?
Not yet. No.
Yep. Yes, I
I'm
did.
one behind.
I'm a season and a half behind.
It was a big episode.
Very big.
Yeah, my son that lives in Tennessee, he talked to him. He goes, "Yeah, it's really, really good. Have you seen it yet?" I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm one show behind. It's really, really good."
They have meat pies in
Oh,
Australia,
meat pies are good.
and so do most prisons.
Oh God!
Well, you got to ruin a good thing, Bruce.
Don't cross the line, Bruce. Don't cross the line.
Oh, I gotta wait 10 minutes to cross the line. Oh, he passed 10 minutes. All right, next up, we got Invincible 61, 15 plus sales, averaging $13. CGC 9.8, $442.
Conquest, baby. Yeah, it's I mean they're following the comic pretty well.
Yeah.
So you know you can guess where the spec's gonna go. So it's nice to see these Invincible books push up there outside of the Invincible
I guess I don't have any. Again, it's one of those shows that I never read the comic, so I'm enjoying the show a lot, and don't have. I'm glad to hear they're following the storyline pretty closely, I guess. But it's probably one of those things that if you're gonna sell this thing, you probably got like a window, right? Like before before people lose interest in the next one comes along.
Yeah, I mean they're Invincible's always been kind of a sought after title though, so it's not horrible. It's not like Option News where we get indie books that pop and then just die on the vine after that. Yeah, I mean once the stories are kind of past in this, you're kind of like, okay, guess it won't be going back to that well.
Unless you're want to build a run. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Invincible books in my LCSs around here either.
No,
they're kind of
they're not easy to find.
No, maybe Styx can find some in Niagara Falls.
Maybe.
Aside from all those girls in the Niagara Falls area.
Next up, we have Secret Wars number 5, 16 sale, averaging $8. CGC 9.8s are around $60. Blah blah doom.
Blah blah Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean there was that leaked concept art. Where's Matt to tell me it's true, it's real? Yeah, maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Either way,
what people have to realize is a lot of concept art doesn't make it into movies.
Yeah, of course it doesn't, but the idea that okay, looks like they're going to be leading into Hickman's Secret Wars is enough.
True.
You know, I mean I understand Dupe probably won't show up in live action anytime soon. But you know, seeing Doom in Hickman-esque Secret Wars concept art is general enough to make these Secret Wars books pop, which makes sense.
Yep. Then we have
I agree with Terry. I think Invincible books are going to go the way of Preacher eventually. It's going to kind of just die off. I mean, hell, even Walking Dead books are not really still on many people's radar anymore, except for maybe
issue one is still up there for people.
Yeah, issue 1 and 2, a huge drop off from 1 and 2. It's kind of like Star Wars 1 and 2. For some reason, there's a huge drop off, even though they have a lot of first appearances in 2 as well. But anyway,
yeah, but they can always do spin-offs for Invincible and stuff like that.
Battle Beast. Let's go. Next up, we have New Avengers 33. A handful sold. Price is trending upwards of $15. I don't know where that season 2 came from, but sorry about that. We're not getting to season 2 of New Avengers.
Need to hire you a new editor.
No kidding.
But yeah, so yeah,
I need red
this
5
is-
back, damn it.
This is same lines of concept are kind of teasing the Hickman stuff that could be coming in live action. So people going to spec.
Yep.
You know the way this works, kids.
Yeah.
And
again,
moving on.
None of these books are crazy price. I mean, if it's trending up towards 15, that's not a big deal for a raw book sitting out there. Yeah.
Next one is.
Next one, we have Hero for Hire #1. About a dozen sold. Raw High hit $462 because of Daredevil. They mentioned the club.
Thank you.
This was a little bit of a stretch.
I say thank you, Pete, for at least giving us one tie-in to Daredevil so we can talk about it a little bit instead of keeping all of them on the hot 10 like I thought he was going to do. At least he gave us something that ties into Daredevil. Yeah, I didn't catch this reference right away until you guys were talking about it after Pete gave us this list. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I fucked it up first. I just saw Heroes for Hire 1, and I was like, oh, and I thought it was the 1997 one because I didn't pay attention to the price. And I was like, oh, Second White Tiger. Okay, well, I could see that. But no, it was the original.
Yep.
Has everybody watched Daredevil? Has everybody watched
yeah.
the 2 episodes that dropped? I did. Yeah. I forgot that they dropped, and I felt ashamed and embarrassed by that. So I forced my wife to watch it with me last night. I forced her to be in the room with me while I was watching it. And next thing I know, she's into it, asking me a bunch of questions about when Daredevil and Kingpin were, because she never watched the series on Netflix. So we're sitting there watching it, and when Daredevil and Kingpin are eating, or went for breakfast or whatever, and they're in that cafe, my wife's like, "How do they know each other?" I was like,
"Oh, so you're in the position Marco's wife was, where she was. Marco was angry there wasn't a recap at the beginning of the series."
Well, I know a few people and give her like a quick rundown.
I know a few people that were upset because they didn't watch the Netflix show. They thought it was just going to be a whole new thing instead of a continuation. Pretty much season 4 of the Netflix show.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear that that's what they were going to do.
Yeah. I mean, if you were in tune,
not for normies that don't follow this stuff.
Normies, I see. Yeah.
Well, if you're a normie, why are you watching it to begin with? If you're a normie, it's Daredevil. If you're watching it, you're thinking like, oh,
because a lot of people don't have Netflix and they have Disney Plus.
Because you only have one TV
whole series.
Like
the whole series is on Disney Plus, the Netflix series.
They're not going to go back and do homework.
No, but you could easily watch the summaries pretty quick.
But I
have no mercy for people that don't do homework.
I was surprised at the name drops, right? I mean, obviously they name dropped Punisher. Didn't name drop him, but talked about, Vigilante with a skull on his chest. And I was a little surprised that they mentioned Spider-Man in that same scene. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it's our Spider-Man or another Spider-Man. Which Spider-Man is it? I guess is what I was kind of wondering.
Yeah.
Is it?
You know what Disney Plus does do is they'll push that series like into the front, so it'll be in like the to watch section.
It rolls after the second episode of Daredevil. It rolls to the title to let you go into the old Netflix series automatically. So
yeah.
She does.
Yeah, that's
a shtick.
It's just Well, is it really a shtick? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, you guys have met him in real life. I don't know if it is a shtick so much or not.
Sometimes he's real, sometimes he's kayfabe.
So if you want to read more about these books, head over to cbsi.com and check out Pete's write-ups.
And maybe we'll have one next week. Maybe Pete won't have time to do it, and we'll have our own 5. Who knows? It's fun week to week. We don't know. So
On weeks where on weeks where Pete doesn't give us outside looking in, we should go try to find sexy cosplay of all the books from the week before and show them.
Oh, I kind of like that idea. That gives me a good task. Today. So, boys,
Joe likes that kind of homework.
I do like that kind of homework. Hey, we want to do some pickups? We got some pickups.
I have some stuff. I always got something that I can show.
I'll let you.
Are you going first?
No, I'll let you lead off there.
I always forget to pull the stickers off these freaking things. All right, here is. I meant to look up before the show started if this was a MegaCon exclusive or not. But it's a signed Nakayama Wonder Woman.
Gives me time to put stickers on my.
And the reason I wonder if it says first signed on it, which I'm a sucker for gimmick shit like that. So supposedly this is his first time he signed this book, if he's true to what that says. But anyway, Wonder Woman. And then I have some shit. What the hell's this guy's name? You guys know I'm gonna forget names when I get on here. Anybody recognize this artist? Anyway,
no.
Red Sonja. I can't remember the name will come to me.
It's down in that.
Because
It's down in the bottom right-hand corner. I can see it.
What?
Well, the signature is for that.
Yeah, the signature. Looks like A. Scott or something like that.
Oh, it's shoot. I'll look it up when you guys are going, because I have a couple from him. He was doing some signing. Vampirella Bloody, same artist. Nice. I think I sold that book on one of my Vampirella shows because I knew I'd bought I knew I'd gotten the signed copy, which is what's going in my PC. Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson.
There you go.
Another one. This is the non-bloody Vampirella by Tristan. Because there's also a basketball player named Tristan Thompson. So, not him. Also, Tristan got him to do the remark on Miss Vampirella.
Oh, nice. That's a nice remark. I like a good sharp remark like that. That's always nice. Somebody actually takes the time and just doesn't scribble in something.
And then this is an older Mayhew Vampirella that I actually got this off eBay. I didn't get this from his stream. This is one I just saw on eBay, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's nice.
An older Mike Mayhew Vampirella. And that's it for this week, gentlemen. That's all I got.
All righty. I had time to apply some tape to a cover, so now I can show some books.
I bought little stickies off Amazon so I could start applying to my books. So.
I got this came in today. It's a Zenoscope. It's Sonia Mattis. It's Man Goat and the Bunny Man. It's limited to 250 off Kickstarter. Sonia Mattis
cool.
and Coco Aspen.
Dr. Seuss.
Cat in the Hat.
Yep. Also, little Keith Garvey, also limited, I believe, to 250.
Okay.
Little Daisy Duke.
You never go wrong with little Paul Green.
Bunny Man, here's Boom.
I'm ashamed that I had to buy it, but I had to buy it because I'm a bit of a completionist at times. The massive exclusive in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to show that Heat Seeker that I sent you the pictures of.
No. I'll have that eventually.
You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to get that one.
I know. And then I just bought a lot of, because they're cheap and I like them. And I really like this run. Just a bunch of the All Red X Forces. I
think they have those at my LCS in their bins.
Yeah, they're not pricey at all. I just picked up I had read this run years and years and years ago, and I forgot how fun it was. It was when they let Marvel do fun things, And then from our friend Steve Horn over at My Bargain Comics. If anyone is looking for this book in a newsstand, I have a few copies. So
damn, clean them out.
Yeah, I think I got like 9 copies there.
In the lottery with that cover.
I mean, it was a lot of newsstand. It was a lot of newsstands, and it was like, hey, after shipping and everything else, I could just like pay 2 times as much and get 9 copies of newsstands, or just get 1 copy. So I was like,
I've worn this Cosmic. I've worn this shirt before.
Hey, dude.
I've worn this shirt before. This is this is the Ewok.
Nice.
Guns and Roses.
Jumping droids.
Tight for destruction. Nice. That's all I got this week. Mail has been horrible this week.
I said Ewok, Jawas, sorry.
Oh yeah, don't get us started on how the mail goes.
Yeah, the postal service in general has been a little tough. There's like 2 days I didn't even get any mail. So
It's like they're on strike.
Yeah, my mail is up there by Styx.
It actually is. I should
It
go pick
came
it up.
into my town and went to Styx.
Yep.
All right, 9 Lives of Salem.
yeah, that hat cover's a good cover.
Such a good cover.
Yeah, it was a fun read.
Epitaphs from the Abyss. Who's this? The Bermejo.
Bermejo. Yep.
Panosian Superman 23. Perillo, Justice League Unlimited.
Nice. I like when Furlow pops over and does a few DC covers.
For man, always showing off that he can fly.
King Spot exclusive of Mark Spears Monsters #3 through Frank. Monster.
Is that the same book?
It's one foil and one regular.
One
Oh, okay,
foil.
one's foil, one's not. I was gonna say definitely a difference in color on there.
Nakayama Green Lantern Dark #3. I love this cover so much.
Oh wow.
It's a good cover. It's like a Batman Rocketeer look.
Space Knight. Godzilla versus Chicago.
Is that who that was?
I don't know. I gotta catch up on Green Lantern Dark. Godzilla versus Chicago, cover A.
There you go.
Cover B.
Versus the L train.
Let's see it. You got it?
Cover C.
You got it?
And the 1 in 50.
Franks and beans.
Yay, sausages.
Wait a minute. What? What did
Try to find that in your LTS. FOC people, FOC.
Wait. Why you call it Franks and Beans? I missed the joke.
There's the sausage links. Yeah, he's holding train cars.
Oh, okay. I
Looks
thought
like
he was
sausage
holding a
links.
train or
See the
something.
people flying off
Yes,
the train?
he is. He is. It is a
Okay.
train, but it looks like sausage links.
Now I'm tracking. Okay.
I had to get this Gatchaman 7. Joe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rachada Lynn, Black Canary, Best of the Best.
Yeah.
Zerdy,
Nice.
23.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a decent 30. It's going.
Ferreira, Detective Comics 10.
I still don't know why you shelled out for that.
I love this cover.
That's a rate. That's 125, right?
Oh, it's open order.
I thought that
It
one was
was
the
an open
ratio.
order.
No,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't notice if it was.
No, that's the ratio.
He just clicked yes.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Superman 23, the Johnson.
I love those.
Those are
I know. I don't understand why the Godzilla is so expensive either. It's crazy.
Because
Those Johnson ones kicked up the ratios now too, didn't they?
yeah, these are 125s.
Yeah, they started
What
off.
happened to the Godzilla?
No, I was saying that book is ridiculously expensive. The Godzilla book.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just kind of weird that it's that expensive.
Oh, a lot of shops didn't order 50 copies of Godzilla versus Chicago. Red Hulk, #1, the PX exclusive.
That looks familiar.
Only paid $19.99. Damn it.
I paid $0 because
$19 too much.
Because I didn't buy it.
Bruce is showing us some slabs tomorrow, I think. I am. They are lined up behind me somewhere. All 24 slabs.
There you go. Watch Bruce tomorrow on Only Slabs.
Only slabs.
2:30 Eastern.
Chilling Adventures presents Betty, the Final Girl.
Yay.
I saw this. I was on Whatnot waiting for Pete's show to start, and I was like, oh, I like that cover. Buy it now.
I will never complain about Archie covers.
Wonder Woman 800. You know what this is.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got that bad boy.
I love that cover. Torch, #3.
There you go.
It's got thrown in my box from Pete.
There you go.
Nice.
It's a good flops cover.
Yep. Jim and the holograms, #5, 1 and 10.
I didn't force you, Terry. I firmly suggested.
Justice League 30 cameo, Jessica Cruz.
Yeah.
I picked that from Pete.
Good luck on untangling that. Which Jessica Cruz book is the one to have?
The one I have right here. Savage Avengers, #4 at 1 and 25. Got these from Pete. Buffy, Vampire Slayer. Season 11, #1.
See, Bruce back to form here. How many you got?
There's so many good Buffy covers out there.
I'll tell you though that Pete's little stream that he did went real well. I don't know who his mod was, but he was awesome.
I didn't know he had a mod.
Yeah, the best mod in the business.
There you go.
Best mod in the business.
Season 11, #1, variant cover. Spike and Buffy.
I give Styx a lot of shit for his trivia, but when it comes to modding, Styx is the man.
Captain America #25, the Whatnot pack variant.
Boo. I didn't get any of those.
Red Hulk #1.
So are they? How is that? How is that one being classified?
Which one?
Trade dress. It has a trade dress and everything on it.
I have the card somewhere. I gotta find it. I just, who knows? The Virgin, a Hulk #1.
With those wooden nickel nipples.
No, it's not it can't be a reprint though, right? Because it's different. So it would be
Is it though? The cap one though?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Hulk one.
The Cap one is literally almost
It's a facsimile, right?
Yeah. Captain America, Sam Wilson #3, silver foil.
And that's just a spot foil on that, right?
No, the whole where's the foil?
No, the side, the whole silver is the foil.
Yeah, the whole thing is foil.
Yeah.
Because it looks almost spot foil when you're looking at it. It's a sharp foil.
Yep.
Hopefully you got some of the good ones. There were some bad ones. There were some bad ones with a lot of corner scuffing that I was seeing on the
little dings, a few dings.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
But hey, actually, Joe, I mean, I'm not going to fault you for it, but you didn't show the stuff that you got from me, which is okay because it was Vampirella, and it wasn't anything new. But that one, the one Showgirls, your bonus one, the buyers, that comic has been set aside here for like the better part, probably over
I
a
love
year,
that book. I love
waiting
that book.
for an opportunity for me to send that to you.
I love that book. No, I showed them off on Bruce's show, and then I ended up organizing my books this week and putting stuff away.
I don't watch Bruce for show.
Hulk 22, the Prism.
Oh, that's what the prisms look like. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I still haven't seen any of the sketches or the signs. I haven't seen a signed one either.
But people are still selling those packs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody that bought them, anyone that bought them and didn't want them opened on the stream, just bought it so they could resell it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Justice League 31, CGC 98, the Batman 66 variant.
What?
Oh, I
The
love
66 variant.
I love that cover.
I love this cover. I got it
It's
cheap.
an all-red cover, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh. I'll have to find me one of those. I like Batman 66.
And this is also, this is the first appearance of Jessica Cruz. Yeah. This was a 1 in 10, I believe.
And realize it is. I mean, don't forget about the
Digital
Wonder Woman stuff that they do too. They do the Batman 66, but they do the Wonder Woman 177 or whatever. So we're going to be hitting 50 years pretty soon on Linda Carter Wonder Woman. So they got those books.
Yep. I got these back from CGC. I don't know if I showed these. I'm not sure. Monsters #1, variant K, signed.
Nice.
Yep.
People calling that the black label. Well, I guess it's fitting. But I heard people talking about CGC black label. And I was like, but it's yellow. It has a black strip. But I guess that's what the hobbyists decided to call those things.
Yeah, some people call it that. I don't know why, but I like the black and gold. Black and gold. Another, what was this? The King Spot exclusive.
Yeah, where's this? Oh, I see it now. It's like shit. I couldn't see the signature for.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, there were 190 of those.
Yes. Monsters 2, the metal foil. Metal cover. And my Raz win finally got here.
Jeez.
Deadly Tales, the Gunslinger #1, the McFarlane sketch.
There you go. I know you like your Gunslinger Spawn.
I do like Gunslinger Spawn. And that's it.
That's it?
Sticks, what you got?
I got Bubkiss. Nothing new this week.
I forgot. I actually did get a slab this week. I actually got something in plastic encased.
Ooh.
Thank you for reminding me about this book, James Gregor. I'm happy about it for my Mockingbird collection, but Doom T'Challa. Doom T'Challa. Just saying. All those astonishing tales and the supervillain team ups are great with Doom. So get your Doom, get all your Doom, all the Doom you can before something else stupid drops and it runs up the prices on everything.
Doom.
Let's get into a deck. Let's actually get into the deck here.
Beg your pardon?
Why not? Sad news this week.
Wait, you said what?
Let's get into the deck.
Oh, deck. I thought you said something else.
No, I'm not South African working on a boat. I'm not a dickhand. We're talking about decks, slide decks. George Lowe passed this week. He was the voice of Space Ghost Coast to Coast and many other wonderful Adult Swim properties. He will be missed. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is one of my hands down favorite shows to watch.
That's not even that old either. Wow, it's like
he was
60s, mid-60s.
Yep. Yeah. So some sad news. And now let's get into some comics. For now, later this week, I had to throw up the Space Ghost 10, the Anthony Marquez variant. There's a nice Virgin variant of this as well. In honor of George Lowe, I had to throw up a Space Ghost book. It is a good sharp. I'm a sucker for all the Space Ghost covers. I just can't help myself. Even though I kind of fell off from reading the title, I just love Space Ghost art.
Would that be considered a negative space? It almost kind of would. Somewhat.
It's in space. I don't know if it's negative space, but it's in space.
Negative space in space.
Yeah.
One of one. Go get it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, the Virgin copy of this is nice, but I'm a fan. Dynamite has just a very minimal Dynamite in the corner, and I don't mind the Space Ghost trade on it. I just think it looks sharp. Yeah. Speaking of sharp, Frizzen Vampy this week. So it's Frizzen Vampy. It's hard to pass up.
It is, but I saw this and I immediately think back to the other Vampy that she did. That's not the same Vampy, not even the same cover, but for whatever reason, it's very reminiscent of the one cover she did a couple of months ago. That's not even the same cover. I guess it's all in my head.
The nice thing about Dynamite is you got your price point. If you want to just pick up the trade, you can pick up the trade for a few bucks. But if you want your virgins and your foils and all that shit.
Did you say this was? It's a one in 22.
I forget what the Virgin, whether the Virgin was 1 in 10, and then the foil or whatever was 1 in 20. No, I don't know. Dynamite has fucking 8,000 fucking covers for everything. But
our Dynamite and Sin is the 1 in square root of 57.
But like I said, I mean, again, the nice thing I like about Dynamite is you can order them. You can order them pre FOC. Get the fucking discount, so you can get a 1 in 10 for $6.99.
Let me make a note of that, sir. Don't do math jokes.
Yeah.
Math jokes just don't add up on this show.
Just don't hit. Yeah. Oh, no. Very clever. See, I got that, but our audience, they didn't get it.
That might be. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think she has another one.
They're all English measures,
which is a more full bodies of Vampy coming up as well. So I mean, it's Frizzen, it's Vampy, it's good stuff. I do the same thing if I see Red Sonja and Frizzen. They're just always good covers. And I always love Maria Leva covers. So I threw up the Nice House by the Sea #6, cover B. Also something. It's somebody's head kind of.
Is it anything, or is it just
doing? Yeah, it's something.
Someone's head exploding. That would make you take a kind of a look like, what the hell? Somebody's head just exploded over there.
It's a good cover, and the one thing I noticed is DC finally started to put the Vertigo imprint on the books. I hadn't noticed that. I knew they said they were bringing it back.
Yeah,
but they got the imprint on there now, so it's nice to see Vertigo on books.
You know what it looks like. I looked at it close on my TV. It looks like that one picture from Scanner that you usually use with the guy.
When the head's exploded.
That's what it looks like when you look at it up close on the big screen.
Like I said, I'm a sucker for Maria Leva covers, and it's a nice open order cover B. So, so now for the future. Whatever happened to Crimson Justice #1? Very nice Dan Pinotion cover. It's open order cover. It's just the B cover, but it's a nice Pinotion. Also, Valiant, Beyond All New Harbinger.
Okay, Mama.
Yeah, this is the cover F. This is the Virgin. It's just a fucking sharp cover. I just like it. And you know what? Mystique covers are always good. They just are. So Uncanny X-Men 15, the Fan Yang Mystique variant is a good cover for all you John Woo fans out there. This one should hit the feels because this is a very, very John Woo inspired cover here. You got your birds flying, you got your guns. It's good
Stained glass.
Yeah, stained glass. It's about as John Woo as you can get. But it's a good sharp cover.
What is our opinion on the new ASM? Is that the one with Spider Girl in it? Is that the one
my opinion on new ASM 1 is you don't need 75 fucking covers for the book.
My opinion is
I assume it is the one with Spider Girl on it. Then.
This is the eighth volume of the series. Do we need 8 volumes of Amazing Spider-Man? 9?
And
I thought it was 9.
I don't know. And 9. And how many of them were just in the past 4 years?
Yeah, I think the first reboot was in what 07. So it hasn't been We'll see.
Well,
there's another reboot.
It's like there'll be just so many goddamn covers that it's like, why? What's the point of buying a ratio if there's 75 goddamn covers?
Aside from all the variants and exclusives and stuff for it, and again, I assume we're talking about the one with the first appearance of Spider Girl. Wasn't it like a year ago that they did the first appearance of Spider Boy, and everybody went nuts and had to have all these Spider Boy? Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know. Had all these Spider Boys and nothing really. I mean, it was hot, and then it wasn't. I guess it's all spec. Maybe he'll be in a movie.
Well,
so now here we are a year later, and we got the same thing with Spider Girl. People seem to be going nuts, at least on Whatnot and things, for these Spider Girl covers. And I'm just kind of like a little deja vu. I'm like, really? We're gonna go through this again?
Well, Spider Boy's a good read, actually. People are still reading Spider Boy, and
but spec doesn't care about the story. Well, I guess they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Depends.
Never mind. I didn't say that.
Yeah, I can't. When there's that many goddamn covers, it's like if there's something I really like out of it, I'm like, I'll just pick that up. But I don't think. Yeah, it's just too much. It's too overwhelming when there's that many.
Too much.
You know, the
if
new
it was
Spider-Man. I just wanted to say the new Spider-Man run is pretty much is going to be Spider-Man Inc. There'll be international Spider-Man in every country or whatever. With Batman.
It feels like they put out a Spider-Verse book every other week and just like, here's 5 new Spider people. Here's 5 new Spider people. Yeah, so it's nothing new. So for the tops and tails cover of the week, Dead Samurai 4, the cover C, the Draxcale cover. That's just a fun cover. I like samurai covers. I like boobs. So there you go. What can I say?
We never noticed. We never noticed.
It was marketed directly toward me.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good cover.
That is a good cover. That's a really good cover.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Drax does really good covers.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
not today. Not today, Johnny Cash. No 5-minute update today. You will have your chuffs and chuffs next week when Absolute Superman drops next week, and we will be talking about that next week.
No Dom and no Chuffs review. We got to get this done in under 2 hours tonight. There's
no
shame
Chuffs.
on us, So. All right.
I gotta give you your love.
It's time for the That's Not a Comic, That's Not a Comic, Salia Comic, Salia. It's time for the That's Not a Comic, That's Not a Comic, Salia Comic, Salia Comic. Oh, who? Sale of the week.
There we go.
Well, I told you guys last week that you hadn't seen the last of Pogs on this little short segment. And I meant it because it was easy. So I threw this together. Last week we did sealed boxes. This week we're doing complete sets of Pogs that are being sold out there. Mortal Kombat Pog set by Avermage. 50 Pogs. This came out in 1995. Interesting on the 2 Pog sets that I selected this week. I was fortunate enough to get some actual sales that had bids on them instead of just buying now in best offers. So this one actually had 8 bids. It might be the same person bidding on the other one when we get to it, because it was the same date of sale. $223 and some change, 8 bids back in December. And then on the other side of the screen, we'll jump. This is a Batman Pog set. So this is something that Brucefer might set his sights on eventually.
I am not getting Pogs.
You're not getting into Pogs? Just no way.
Not even that Spawn Slammer?
Not even if they're graded?
No.
No? Do they grade Pogs? I bet they do. So this is a Crown Andrews manufactured Batman set, 1 through 60, also from 95. Also sold on December 6th, probably to the same buyer for $163.50. He did have somebody trying to get them away from him because there were 6 bids on this, so there was some back and forth. Unless he kept bumping up his own bid. And then there in the middle, we had the mail away Spawn Platinum Spogs Metal Pog Slammer. Styx will explain to you what a slammer means in this regard. Brucefer will tell you what a slammer means in other regards, but in this regard, what is a slammer?
So a slammer is a heavier.
What did I do?
The heavier pog that you would have your pog stacked up, and you take your slammer and you would slam the stack and.
And a slammer, in my regards, is when Dom goes to a pickle party and his. Never mind.
Someone has to be a slammer at the pickle party. And sometimes they draw.
Slammy.
Yeah, sometimes they have to they put they draw straws. There's all different ways to become the slammer at a pickle party. And we'll ask Dom what all those are because he may have experienced a few of them. But yeah, so this is the Metal Slammer from 1993. It was a mail away. This one sold for $80 on a best offer late December. So yeah,
that's a good question, Cosmic. I don't know.
I'm a slow reader. Is there a rumor some Pogs have different logos on them?
I'm guessing because there was the official Pog company.
Yeah,
that was the licensed Pogs.
Yeah, they had like that the Brown Yeti or whatever. And whatever it was.
Then there were all the knockoff Pogs.
Yeah. Well,
thanks a lot, Terry. My biggest nightmare for this show was somebody actually ask us a question about Pogs. I was like, please, nobody ask us a question about these things.
The wonderful collectible that spanned
4 years,
1993 to late 1994.
Yeah, what, like 5 or 6 years, maybe?
Yeah, not long.
And I guess, you know what, maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we're not done with Pogs yet. Maybe I'll see if we can get some graded Pogs next week. Who knows? But that's all the Pogs for this week.
Chasing Pog ghosts.
Chasing Pogs.
Good stuff. It's interesting. It's one of those weird collectibles. It's fun. Styx, what you got for us tonight?
So this week, I was trying to think of something to kind of go with the motif of what we were going to be talking about tonight, and I'm like, I ain't got shit. So
I'm going to give you this.
I'm going to give you this.
You are not having a massive stroke. It's just trivia with Styx. You did not suffer a debilitating head wound. It's just trivia with Styx.
It's not CTE or PTSD.
It's just trivia with Styx.
There we go. That's bad.
The best part of the segment.
Always right in the world.
So this week, Joe's already touched up on it, and I'll let you run the slide deck, Joe. This week, we're going to be talking Space Ghost Coast to Coast trivia. I thought I'd throw 5 questions in about Space Ghost Coast to Coast that you may or may not know, may not have wanted to know, or just thought, why is he telling me? So here we go. What was the first year for Space Ghost Coast to Coast to be on television? Was it 1964, 1984, 1994, or 2004?
2004.
So this is not Space Ghost, but Space Ghost Force or Coast to Coast, which is different.
Yeah, so Space Ghost, the cartoon from Hanna-Barbera, and then this is Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Okay, well,
which is like
the Hanna-Barbera is probably the only one I even know.
It's an interview show. It's still Hanna-Barbera, I guess, esque, but it's more of a interview style cartoon / live action.
It was one of the best shows.
I was going to say B,
ever
but
on
I'm thinking of the older ones, and the chat definitely disagrees with me. Chat is split between C and D.
I've never watched this show.
You've never? Oh, wow.
What is wrong with you people?
I just always assumed it was the one that from the Hanna-Barbera one. I didn't know there was a difference. I will say, I'll say D.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It was required reading.
I don't doubt that.
It was definitely required viewing.
Yeah. If I ever see it on, I always leave it on and watch it because it's great. I think I don't know if they're the YouTube channel or they're the Pluto TV channel that has it just going 24 hours a day.
It is worth it just to watch it all day. I have done that for hours on end before, and it is fantastic.
Yes. All right. What is our answer? And the answer is 1994. Space Coast to Coast is one of the first original series produced for Cartoon Network.
It's basically what really started Adult Swim.
Yeah. Up until then, Cartoon Network was only doing older cartoons or, reruns of cartoons. That was their first actual program. All right, question number 2. Which of these castaways does Space Ghost not interview? I'm going to emphasis on the not for Jedi. Is it Gilligan, Marianne, the Professor,
you could just put it in bigger font for me,
or Skipper?
Skipper.
My instincts tell me C because nobody really cared about the Professor. But didn't the actor that played Skipper, didn't he pass away earlier than the others or something? So I think I'm going to go with D.
I'm not going to say.
All right. Guys got your guesses in?
They're all locked in.
Yeah.
All right.
The answer
and
is...
as Jedi did say, sadly, it is D. Bob Hale had passed by this time, but Space Ghost did interview all of the other 3: Bob Denver, Don Wells, and Russell Johnson.
Seatbelts, those are for nerds. You boys aren't nerds, are you? Because this ain't the nerd taxi.
When Joe had a clip of Space Ghost.
I love it. All right, next question. What are Space Ghost powers? Is it flight? Is it super strength? Is it baking skills? Or the D, all of the above?
Baking skills. I mean, all of the above. D.
Yeah, you're trying to trick me because in my experience, the answers are always C or all of the above, and you didn't put C as all of the above. So I'm going to say all of the above. I think baking skills is probably his goofy power. The others, even though he was just seen flying in a spaceship, I'm assuming that was because he had passengers. So I will say D.
I love it, Terry. Good job.
I like beans. I love beans.
All right. We all locked in?
All right.
Locked in. Final answer.
Yeah, and the answer is D, all of the above. According to Space Ghost during a Caspan interview, one of his powers... Caspan. He says Caspan. One of his powers is the ability to make an apple brown Betty.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
I had to get a little bracket there.
Question 4. What is Space Ghost's real name? Is it Chad Ghostal, Major Dickinson Yates, Tad Ghostal, or is it Kerr? Or Kyer? I think it's Kerr.
B.
We got a B from Bruce Fur. Plastic. Thank you, Cosmic. I appreciate that.
His interview with Bjork was one of the best episodes.
Yeah,
When she played his wife. When she played his wife.
Yeah.
Styx, have you been doing this on other shows? Because I don't know what Cosmic could possibly be talking about over there. Like, do you do this on other
Listen,
shows?
anytime. Listen, Jedi. Anytime I show up on screen, it's like lightning in a bottle. So there you go.
Because
Welcome bottle.
I don't think he could possibly be talking about
An open
trivia
container.
segments on this show. In case in point, I feel like you're trying to trick me by using the last name of Ghostal in 2 answers. I feel like you're trying to trick me there. You gave them both college, like, not nerd, but what do you call it? College
Douchebags?
douchebag names. Thank you. And I don't even know what current. No offense to anybody out there named Chad or Tad.
Yeah.
At least it could be Thad. That's what they did when the character in Blue Mountain State. They took Chad and Tad, which is the 2 most douchiest names, and they combined it into Thad.
So what's your pick, Jedi?
I'll say B.
You say B?
I think you're trying to trick me.
Yeah, no. I don't think I'd ever do that, but maybe.
All righty. And the answer is...
Wake up in the morning. How to do that.
All right, the answer is C, Tad Ghostal. That is his identity in this series. In other series, he does have different names. So, where, most of those on there were his other names, except Chad. Chad's his missing brother or something like that. Question number 5. Coast to Coast was only aired on the Cartoon Network. Is that true, or is that false?
I'm hoping Joe gave us the answer to this earlier, and I'm going to say true. When he said it built, or what did you say? It made Cartoon Network.
Basically, it was the start of Adult Swim.
Yeah,
Adult
Cartoon
Swim
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say true. Just
Yeah.
I'll say false.
We got trues, we got falses, we got true and falses.
Yeah, well,
50-50.
And nerdy said,
anything other than a true or false answer is the wrong answer.
B.
Well, there you go.
The answer to this one is...
Any of this one is yes. False. It was also aired on Game Tap, which was produced by Turner Broadcasting Corporation. It was more like a video game. It was like a video game channel.
Turner owned Cartoon Network as well, I believe. So it all fell within the Turner
same family.
enterprise.
Yeah, it's the same family.
Yes.
But
Your
just a different- it
TNTs
was a
and
different
your
channel.
TBSs and
Yeah,
all the Turner stuff.
your Caspans. Yes, so George Lowe, voice of Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, as Joe said earlier, passed away. So
March 2nd.
Rest in peace to him, sir. Rest in peace.
It was a fantastic show. If you've never experienced Space Ghost Coast to Coast, like Styx said, I believe on YouTube there's a channel that just runs it.
Yeah, I highly
Pretty
recommend
much
it.
nonstop.
Give it a couple. You know.
They always had fantastic guests on. It's basically an interview show.
Yeah.
But the way they would cut it up is it was never really actually an interview. They would basically ask the person questions and take that video, chop it up, and then splice it into the cartoon. So it was always perfect.
Yeah. Kind of like today's media.
Yeah. All right. So for the spotlight today, I just figured, nobody wants to, not everybody wants to go out and buy slabs and spend a lot of money on slabs. A lot of people like to just collect raw books. They don't like to collect graded books because they like to actually touch and feel the book and take it out, look at it, and things like that. So I figured let's look at some raw books that you can get for under $100. Now, granted, there's tons and tons and tons of raw comic books that you can get for under $100. So I tried to stick with things that had some key value to them. Things that have retained value over the years that you could look at to possibly sneak into a few different categories here and pick up some nice books for under $100. First on our list, I decided to throw Adventure into Fear 19, which is your first Howard the Duck. 6.0 to 7.0 in quality of a raw. Is what you want to kind of shoot for. Many that you'll find listed will be over that $100 ceiling. But if you are patient, and a lot of this list is about patience, raw books are it's nice when you can go to a con or dig at a shop and actually look at the book and look it over. If you're on the Bay or some online site, you're basically taking people's word for it. What they're saying a grade is on the book, be it a VF or an F or they put a number on it, whatever, when it's a raw. But examine those pictures closely. A lot of times, some people will undergrade a book. Sometimes people won't put a grade on a book, and it's a decent copy of the book. And a lot of times people will overgrade their books. So look at those raws. This is a book that you can definitely get for under $100 if you're patient and look around, get a decent quality. Something above a 6 is what you want to kind of shoot for in a book like this.
I want to add just one thing, Joe, that if you feel like there's not enough pictures on a listing, reach out to the seller, ask for more pictures.
Yeah, never hurts. Never hurts to ask for more info. Now, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Styx kind of gave me right there. He just barely gave me a segue into what I said I was going to. I told you guys in the chat, I might go on a little bit of a rant here. Right. But Styx just cracked the door just enough for me to come in. And so, yeah, what I'm finding now, and this really has nothing to do really with the topic, because you're talking about raw books, but Styx talked about ask for pictures. What I'm finding now that happens a lot it's happened to me a lot lately. Sorry, Bruce is that it's coming from these people, these pressers that are now asking me for close-up pictures of graded books, which is a pain in the ass to do because of the glare and everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a lot of people when I post a graded book, they're saying, can you give me a close-up of the spine? Can you give me a close-up? And you know what? You know why I started buying graded books? And it's because I
didn't want to deal with that.
I didn't have to deal with that. If I ever decided to sell it.
Are they 9/8? Are they 9/8 they're asking for pictures of, or are they?
No, these
are they want to know if it has
they want to know
curve. That's all they want, the curve.
Yeah,
well, that and
I'm getting that a lot
of times.
Now, is people are like, can you give me pictures of all the corners, the spine? And I'm like, it's a graded book. It's a 9.2, and
I think some people want that, not necessarily for the curve, but if you're selling an 8.5 or a 9, I think a lot of people want to see if there are defects on there that could be pressed out. If the book wasn't pressed before and it was just graded, then they can crack it, repress it.
And all you gotta do is look up the number on the slab, and I'll tell you the defects. If it's under,
Do people want to see
Even
it?
they've backdated all the. They've got their database up to date now of all the books that's ever been graded.
Yeah, I mean, people want to
No,
see
not
it.
not older books. The books that have notes still. No, they don't. You know, they had notes when it was slabbed. The notes would be in the database.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a little mini rant there because I've experienced that more and more lately, and I just like.
Just tell them to go kick rocks.
I do. I tell them I'm not going to do it.
I'll tell you, I put very, very few modern books on this list because if you're going to spend $100 on a book, if it's an older book and it's around $100 or under that ceiling, but you're spending a little bit on a book, it's good to know that okay, this is a book that's been out there a while. It's had some value to it that has accrued. It's not flavor of the week type book that's out there.
You had some. Joe had some real guidelines for the list that he made because we were throwing suggestions out there, Bruce Fur and myself, and a lot of them were. I'd say like 9 out of 10 of them got shit canned by Joe. He's like, no. And then of course the funny thing is Dom starts throwing shit in there.
I thought it was like ASM 300. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like Daredevil #1. We're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, my thing. Part of my thing for this list too was, I'm not going to try to get you into a book that you're buying something that would grade out at a 7.0 raw, where you can get that 7.0 for that same price, that same price plus grading or less. If you're going to go buy a Ultimate Fallout 4 Pacelli and for some reason spend $75 on it, but you can go on eBay and sometimes score a 9.8 of that book graded for $100, don't buy the raw for 75. Just buy the graded. If you don't like it graded, just crack it. At least you know what you're getting. Don't overspend because you are taking a gamble on every raw book you buy. You're taking a gamble on what the actual grade is going to be. But there's always that back and forth between, especially with a lot of these older books, you'll get raws that'll go up there. They go for a decent amount of money. And sometimes you'll see graded books and be like, why is this graded book only $20 more for basically the same grade? Older books are weird like that. So you always kind of got to look at both. But I tried to target certain grades here and certain dollar points for some of these books so you don't get in that sticky situation.
Very good.
And again, a lot of the word of the day tonight is going to be patience when you're looking for these books, because they are out there. Some of the books are out there in abundance and you'll see lots of copies of them. This is one of those books, DC Superstars of Magic. You will see copies out there all the time. And normally they are absolute trash, beat to shit copies. This is a beautiful, beautiful Zatanna book that, it's not Silver Age, but it's definitely, if you're a Zatanna collector, it's one of the Zatanna covers that you definitely want to have in your collection. Finding a raw that's above a 7.5 is rare, but it is doable.
Is it square bound?
I'm trying to remember. I'd have to dig mine up. I think it might be slightly square bound. I think it might be. This was a 50 center. But the 7.5 is rare, but it's doable in a raw. A graded 7.0 you can get for about 140. So every now and then you will get a really nice quality copy of this book pop up for a reasonable price. And again, a lot of garbage out there, a lot of 3.0s, 4.0s that are people put up raw, and they'll try to sell them to you for $40-$50. Just watch what you're getting. But if you keep an eye out for this in a raw and look for a nice copy to pop up, if you can get it for a decent price, this is a book in high grade, goes for a good penny. So if you can find something above a 7.5 raw at a reasonable price, pick it up. the Brave and the Bold Teen Titans appearance is a little over $100. Your Teen Titan appearances, those first 2 appearances, they're going to cost you a little more than $100 to find something in high quality. I wanted to find a book that you could get a nicer grade in, but still has some relevance. This showcase 59 is your 3rd appearance of the Teen Titans. It's a Nick Cardy cover. This is a book that you can definitely find in a 7.0 or better under $100. Again, there will be a ton of super shitty copies on eBay, and you zoom in on them and you can see how just beat to living shit a lot of those copies are. But this is also a book where you will find some nice graded copies that will pop out there, higher graded copies that will be reasonable and you can get for under $100. And again, I try to get people to dip their toes in the gold and silver age, because it's a nice, even if you don't have a lot of silver age or a lot of golden age in your collection, they're good books to have. These characters will pop up. These books aren't necessarily going to go out of style anytime soon. Again, it's 3rd appearance of the Teen Titans. We'll be getting some Punisher talk soon, I'm sure, with Daredevil. So you're not going to get that first appearance for under $100, but you can get the 2nd/3rd appearance of the Punisher here with ASM 135. It's a decent book.
I know, Mama. I know what you're talking about.
For a 7 to a 7.5, you can watch and wait for this. This is a great book to pick up at a convention, or even the eBay auctions. The eBay auctions have been great values. People put up books on eBay auctions all the time like this, and the auctions almost always sell for lower than buy it now prices. People never seem to bid these books up to where people are asking for. So it's not a bad book to have in your collection. It's very early Punisher. We know it's a character that's coming back. We know it's a character people like.
I had this book in a 9.4 and I sold it for like $150. And I think that's like a $600 book now, a 9.4.
Wow.
Yeah, in the nines, it's jumped. One big thing, make sure it's not missing the Marvel value stamp. This is a Marvel value stamp book. So with your raw books, if you're at a convention, this is one you're probably going to want to open up and have, let them take a look at it to make sure that Marvel value stamp is in there. Because if not, it's you might as well just throw it in the trash.
Hey, before you go to the next book, I don't want to ignore this question. So, Chico, that's a good question for the guys on Sunday. I actually have no idea.
Yeah, if you're going to get a mall book, that's a solid mall book to have.
Yeah.
If you think the character is going to come back and do something.
It's Cad Bane, right? It's Cad Bane first appearance. So,
and it's
a coin toss.
Star Wars. I have kind of a shit spot with Star Wars because I have boxes and boxes of Star Wars shit, and I just want to unload it at this point. Star Wars spec is weird. There's so many first appearances, so many. Hey, first appearance. Oh, you die at the end of the episode or at the end of the issue. But yeah, that all has. It's a solid book. If you're gonna have a Star Wars book in there, I don't know if I'd spend $200 for it. I think that's something you could find. You could find that in the wild and get a deal on that book.
Especially
things are quiet.
I don't want to hijack it with Star Wars, but in Jedi's opinion, if you're looking for a value pick on that one, it's the Darth Maul #3 where he's actually on the cover. To me, is more value just because he's on the cover. His second appearance, I guess, but just because he's on the cover. But that's just my what I like. Basically, I'm kind of a cover guy.
I got it, Mama. I got it.
Yeah, I mean the Star Wars stuff. It's like you got to buy when nobody's talking about those characters at all. because those books always seem to just drop significantly and then skyrocket once somebody talks about them and then drop back down. So you got to shop. You got to shop for them. But I wouldn't overspend for Star Wars at this point. For Jedi, little Marvel Spotlight 6. You ain't getting 5 for under $100. I don't even know if you're getting a page of it for under $100. But
I don't know if you're going to get. Well, I mean, I know you're talking. What are you saying? The 7.5 of this for under $100?
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised
Maybe.
how many copies are available of Spotlight 6 that are reasonable. Yeah, low grades are cheap, but those higher grades slip in. I mean, you'll look at it a ton.
I paid $30
for
for a piece of shit copy of this just because I didn't want to. I wanted somebody to take care of it. I don't think the guy who owned it, the guy who was selling it, didn't have it in a bag or board or anything. I was like, all right, I'll give you 30. I just don't want to see this freaking book mistreated anymore.
But there, if you look on eBay and stuff like that, there's a lot of copies of this up, and a lot of them are shit grade. They're between 4s or 5s, some 6s up there, stuff like that. But when you look through, you will find a couple of those that do slip through that are raw books that are decent. They can grade up at a 7.5 or higher, and can be had for around $100. So. Like I said, it's a second appearance of Ghost Rider. I don't know why people always just feel like, well, it's either Spotlight 5 or it's Ghost Rider 1.
There's such a big, and it's the same in sports cards too. So at least it's standard across the hobbies. Huge differences between a rookie card and a second year card. Huge differences between first appearances and second appearances. We're not talking about cameos or anything that confusing, but yeah. This huge drop. I mean, yeah, this is this in a 9.4 of Marvel Spotlight number 5 is probably over $2,000 easy. Probably closer to 3 now. It's in some places. And then, but a 9.4 of this book, I don't know, $800 maybe. So a huge difference.
Yeah, and again, these are all these Marvel Spotlights. They're beat to shit. So it is harder to find the higher graded copies. So don't feel bad with 8.0, 8.5s. They're not bad for these books, because in the 9s with Marvel Spotlights, it becomes a little more rarefied air, and the prices. And
if you're just I throw this out there just kind of as an oh by the way, if you're a Ghost Rider collector like I am. What I've started doing just when I see them is I will, and that's why I put a couple of them in the chat when we were doing show prep for this, and Joe strictly, lined them all out. But anyway, first appearances of when Ghost Rider fights, the Hulk, first appearances of Ghost Rider and Spider-Man, first appearances of Ghost Rider and Daredevil. Those books like that are they're relatively early Ghost Rider books that can be found at a really good price. And they're not first appearances, but they're first meetings, I guess. So yeah. I mean, this is a book that I just think is a bit criminally underpriced for a raw book out there. If you can find it in a decent grade, it's a second appearance of Ghost Rider. That's a thing. I like second appearances. I have no problem with first appearances, because when first appearances go skyrocket through the roof, people can't afford them. They get priced out, and you just go to the next thing. They go to the next thing, I'm going to mess up. Is this Plug? Is this a Plug cover or anyway?
Yeah,
I guess
this is Plug. Yes,
Plug. Yeah. So this not only is it second appearance of Ghost Rider, this is probably in the Plug style, which is, in my opinion, some of the best covers ever made, ever wrapped around a comic book, in my opinion.
This and after, as Marvel Spotlight progresses, that's when things get messy in terms of appearances, because it overlaps with Ghost Rider 1 or the Ghost Rider series when it starts. But like I said, I was surprised how many copies I saw out there at reasonable prices for this book, Rob.
Hey, yay! Thank you.
You know I was going to put up some Pampy. This is the first Panther. Hit those magazine bins when you go to stores. You know, for years they were very, very neglected. People were kind of getting back into magazines a little bit now. Don't expect to find this in high grades sitting around somewhere because most Vampirella books are beat to shit.
So I was hoping you put this in here, which you did. Thank you. And then I was also hoping that a bundle, if you will, of Vampirella magazines that I bought earlier this week. I was hoping maybe by the grace of God they got here in time for the show. They didn't, but this was one of them. This was on my get list for 2025, and I bought it. It looks, according to the pictures, you know, getting back to what we were talking about earlier about pictures, according to the pictures, it looks great condition. I was hoping I'd be able to validate that live on the air tonight, but I can't. So we'll see. And I paid $40 for it.
It's a beautiful
it looks really good
cover.
in the pictures.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Torres cover. It's a gorgeous book. Panther appears quite a lot, and had her own comic as well.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
So in terms of old Vampy magazines, the old Warren stuff, hit those boxes. There's good stuff in there. Hey, you got your first Obi-Wan. This book has come down quite a bit. You can get something that's should grade out at a 9.0 or better for under $50 or around $50 now at this point. There's a lot out there. The only problem is you have to deal with the whole, is it a Whitman? Is it a 30 cent? Is it a 35 cent? Is it a reprint? There's a lot of different versions out there.
Buy the one that Joe has up on the screen right now, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's the one you want.
Straight up look for the not the diamond in the corner box. Look for the squares in the corner box. 30 cent is great. That's fine. You'll be fine with that. That's the good old regular print of this book is.
There were so many of these made,
fine.
which is there were a lot of these made, and like Joe said, a lot of reprints, which is kind of a good thing, depending on your vantage, because this is another book that was read a lot. You know what I mean? So a lot of normally these Star Wars books are going to have, especially 1 through 6, you're going to have a lot of stapleware because people read these books. They didn't, you know. But I had these books, and trust me, as a kid, I didn't take care of them. They were really shit.
Yeah. I mean, they were beat up books, and but those higher grade ones do exist out there, and there's a glut of them online. Somebody will put one up for auction at a dumb price, and you know, there's so many out there that I don't know how many people are out there bidding on this book. So yeah, there's a chance to pick up a nice higher graded one for a very reasonable price. And it's first.
Yeah, Terry.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having this in the collection. It's a good.
Harry's trying to sucker me into a Star Wars debate now.
Dom's not here to egg us on.
Yeah, I know. Heir to the Empire is the sexy one right now because of all the Mara Jade. But I mean,
yeah.
Star Wars #2, Han, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. I mean,
yeah.
I know maybe we're tired
book.
of them. You know, they're cornerstones of the saga. So.
Yep. Yeah. Always go with the oldies but goodies, because they'll always be talked about. You know, I don't know how many people are talking about Acolyte characters at this point, but they're still talking about Han and Chewie and Obi-Wan and stuff like that. So, yeah. Now this is one that you'll have to pick up at a lower grade, but you can get something around 3.5, maybe if you're lucky, a 4 for around $100. It's a good, solid, classic Fantastic Four book, classic Silver Surfer cover. If you want to put some of those bigger books in your collection and have them, even low graded, at a 3.5 or a 4 graded out, they sell well, and there's a nice jump if you have like a graded 4.0 of this book, if you can snag one for around or a little under $100. So yeah. Had to throw some Marvel silver in there. This is almost as modern as I get with the books. ASM 265. It's the first Silver Sable. It's a character that's who knows what they're going to do with the spider characters. Remember who butters Marvel's bread, and it's Spider-Man. Just like Batman butters DC's bread. It's Spider-Man will always make money. Spider-Man will always sell. People will always want Spider-Man. So they're going to be working in those characters. Just pray it has nothing to do with Sony. Because if it does, you're fucked. but I could easily see them working a Silver Sable in eventually into the comics. You can get high quality copies as low as $30 of this book. And if you're out in the wild or at a convention or stuff like that, this is you can find this $15-20 out there in really nice shape. So, for you Spidey fans, it's a good one out there. Your first Psylocke / Betty Braddock. So if you're a Psylocke fan, this book, there's always multiple pages of this book on eBay for sale, always. And for some reason, all of the raw copies are often very, very shitty. But if you can find something,
pages, is this a book that people break apart?
No, multiple. Like if you go to eBay and you scroll through the first page, there's a lot of listings of this book always. So it's not a rare book, but if you can find something that could grade out over a 9.2 under $50, that's not bad, because there is a ton of fine to very fine copies out there that people will try charging you for. But again, when there's a lot of these books out there, you can, if you put it on a watch list and you keep an eye out for it, you can definitely sneak in a really nice raw copy of this.
Why would this be a blacklight book, Mama? I don't see it. Must be something. It must be something in the guts. I have no idea what could.
But it's a solid. Like I say, we know the X-Men are coming eventually. Marvel's not going to be like, okay, we're done now. We're done. We did what we're going to do. The X-Men are coming. Psylocke's a popular character.
Yeah, they always sneak her in at least a little bit in most of these movies.
Yeah, and this is a book that people just forget about. It's out there all the time, and people just forget about it. It's like Jubilee's first appearance. It's out there. People talk about it every now and then, but it's a cheap book that's out there that you can get your hands on. Same as this book, Avengers Annual 12, the shittiest first appearance cover of any book I've ever seen.
She's on the cover.
Yeah, and this is actually Avengers Annual 10, not 12. I had a little typo there. But I mean, for this book, there's always tons of copies out there. This is a great convention book because this is a book quite often get kind of on the cheap at a convention. But like I said, find the lowest cost, highest grade newsstand that you can. For some reason, the newsstand commands a premium on this book, which makes no sense because it's from fucking 1981 and is basically at least a 50-50 distribution to begin with. If not more newsstand at that time. But because newsstands get beat up a little more, if you can find a higher grade newsstand, pick it up. It's a high volume seller. Just keep your eye out for it. It's the first Rogue. I don't think we're going to get the X-Men at some point without Rogue. I would just be weird if they, maybe not the first movie, but they'll introduce Rogue quickly. So it's a good first appearance to have. Now, in terms of going back to some good old Silver Age, this is the second Silver Age appearance of the Spectre. And if you're looking for Showcase 60, which is his first Silver Age appearance, it's a book that always is going to cost you a good bit. You can maybe score a raw copy around $100, but it's going to be a beat to shit copy. The fun thing about this book is you can find 61 in really nice grades. I think I have a 9.2 or 9.4 this book graded. You can find this book raw in really nice shape under $100. So it's one you got to keep looking at all the pictures for, but who knows what Gunn's going to do. People like Spectre. I can't imagine. Bruce, do you think the Spectre is going to show up in Gunn's DC universe at some point?
No. Well,
no,
I don't think so. I don't think the Spectre's in that 6-year plan.
Oh, I think he's going to slip in there somewhere. You don't think Mangold's going to have a little something in there? Swamp Thing? Just a little random Spectre action? You never know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good character that they like to bring in for larger events. So, and it's a badass cover. I just love this fucking cover. But again, it's one of those weird books where it's like, well, the one before this, you're only getting a low grade copy, but you can get that second appearance in a very nice high graded copy for a very reasonable price. And it's really any showcase books are good to have in your collection. It's DC Showcase. So if you can pick these up in high grade, it's a nice thing to have in the collection. I know Gaiman's persona non grata now, but that means the books get a little cheaper now too. And Death is a character that has crossed over and been in DC stuff outside of Sandman. It's a character that people like a lot. You can get a very high grade of this for at or under 100 or at or under $50. So take a look at Sandman 8.
Isn't this the one? Of course, anybody that's selling it that knows they got it. Isn't this the one that certain books had some sort of letter or something inside?
Yeah, it had the editorial in it. Yeah,
editorial, and it's like they're very, very rare and worth. Now those are worth.
That one is.
If you can snag one of those
pricey.
for under 100,
yeah, that one is still very pricey. But like I said, Death is a character that people still like Sandman. People love the character of Death, and again, she is a character that has shown up outside of the Sandman universe in DC. So she can show up again, and who knows? It's a decent first appearance. It's a very reasonable book that you can get in high grade. So get after it. Another book I love, Hawkman 4, is way too fucking pricey to be able to find for under $100 for your first Zatanna. But you know what? She's not on the fucking cover of Hawkman 4. And we know the way the kids are nowadays. They like to see shit on the cover. So Adam 19 is your first cover appearance of Zatanna. It's a good book to look out there for. You can try to find the highest grade you can under $100 ceiling. It is definitely doable. There's a lot of lower grade copies out there for maybe $40, $50 here and there. But you will find those higher grade ones, even at a 6 or so or higher, slip through the cracks sometimes and pick them up. Like I said, if you're a Zatanna collector, it's a good book to have. Zatanna seems to be quite popular now. They've given her second series in a row. Even though it's a mini, but DC loves using Zatanna. So another good Silver Age book to have. If you want to dip your toes in a little Golden Age,
we know.
I do like to dip my toes. You can get some times, and you have to look out for it because these books are very collectible. But the Mary Marvel series for WoW Comics from Fawcett. You can go with your Marvel family. You can go with some of the other Fawcett books as well. But WoW has some of the best Mary Marvel covers out there. Take your pick from any of the Mary Marvel covers on WoW. It takes some time. It's going to be low grade, but they're highly collectible books that will always move. You can never go wrong with Fawcett. And this is good early Fawcett stuff. In the toe dipping area, say you want to dip your toe in EC stuff, but EC stuff's fucking expensive. Original EC stuff is pricey as hell. But the later run where they had Valor is a very accessible book to be able to get in decent grade. You got a Wally Wood cover. It's an EC Comics book. It's always liquid. It'll always move because it's EC Comics. The only thing about this is you have to watch out for reprints. EC did reprints in the 90s and stuff like that. So if you're looking at the book, make sure you're actually getting the original, not a reprint of this book. But again, it's a twofer. It's an EC book and it's a Wally Wood cover, which is always going to be collectible as well. So it's a good way to get yourself into some EC books at an affordable price. For X-Men, you know what? This is your third of the new team. Now, granted, you got no Wolverine on the cover. I know. But you're not going to pick up a giant size one for under $100. You're not going to pick up X-Men 94 for under $100. And when the X-Men hits and people want this stuff, X-Men 95 will rise quite a bit. And I think this is not a bad book. You can get this book at a reasonable grade in a raw and have that third new X-Men team in there if you're looking to stack your X-Men. And if you want your Wolvie for your X-Men, John Byrne, first solo Wolvie. It's just a solid book to pick up. You can pick up the newsstand if you like. I don't know why newsstands still command the price that they do for some of these books, but you can go direct or newsstand. It's a classic Wolvie cover, never goes out of style, always a book that'll sell. And it's
it's riveting television. I mean, I can't blame him.
But yeah, I mean, you're not going to go wrong with Wolvie. And it's just it's a good book that you can pick up for $100 in a decent grade raw. Had to add a little bit of cake and a little bit of some good artists. This Bruce Timm Vampy, this is from the old Harris run. So Vampy 3, classic Bruce Timm cover. It has been reprinted as a virgin by Dynamite. Just heads up out there. Don't get them mixed up. But this is a book you can get for $80, $90 that's out there. So if you're a Bruce Timm collector, if you're a Vampy collector, this has a little bit of everything for you. I like collecting Bruce Timm stuff, but at least it has a known character on it. Like I love his Spicy Tales and stuff like that. But you know, this at least adds in, okay, a character that people are familiar with. Bruce Timm art, classic cover. Definitely a good one to pick up if you're a Timm collector. And for Hughes fans out there, this is a nice slightly under the radar book, I guess. It's if you're a Hughes collector, yeah, you know this book, but it's a good Hughes cover to pick up. It's from Veritech, so it's not a great label that's out there, so it's not as easy to find. But The Phantom Lady, Crime Never Pays, #1, from 1994. You could shoot for a high grade around $50 in this. Sometimes this book goes a lot higher, closer to 100. But if you're patient, this is a Hughes book that's a good part of a Hughes collection. If you collect Hughes stuff, that you can pick up for around $50. And again, it's another book that moves pretty well. for all you Milo Manara fans, which I definitely am, his 1 in 50 covers that he did for Marvel are always doing extremely well. They always sell for a good chunk of money, especially graded out at 9/8. They always go super high. The Guardians of the Galaxy #1 from 2013, 1 in 50 is a solid book to buy. I think you could still get in this raw for a reasonable price at a nice high grade. So, like I said, if you want to do a little toe dipping for some Milo Manara for these 1 in 50s, and don't want to get into the absolutely filthy Milo Manara covers that aren't Marvel covers, it's not a bad way to go. Like I said, everyone always loves these covers. They're always talked about. You'll always see them pop up here and there. And last but not least, since we are getting our Supergirl movie, I wanted to add in an older book that's just a good Supergirl key. So Action Comics 285. This is a book you can get into for under $100. There'll be, of course, a lot of shitty low-graded copies out there, but you can get a nice, clean, mid-grade copy of this for under $100. This is where Supergirl's introduced to the world. It's a good classic cover. It's not on a Superboy book. It's not on it's on Action Comics, so it's from one of the main titles. It's a nice 12 center. It's not a bad book to get if you want to pick up a little Supergirl spec and don't want to go buy Woman of Tomorrow. So that's what we got this week.
Nice.
I do a lot of toe dipping. You know, toes are always on my mind.
Right in that cheesecake.
Yeah. I laid off the cheesecake a bit. I really wanted to go with hi Styx. I really wanted to go with books this week that had some collectability to them, had some staying power to them. Because again, if you're going to shell out $50 to $100 on a raw book, and I know we don't think about it that much nowadays with all these exclusives and all this other bullshit that's out there, but if you're going to spend $50 to $100 on a raw book, you want it to be something that's hopefully at least going to hold some value and not be something that collapses. So get out there digging. Bruce, you got some news? Got some news for us this week?
Got some news.
Here we go.
What the hell? Why are they not adding it?
Here, I can. No, I can't put yours up there. Are you trying to put mine up there instead of yours?
No, actually. What the hell? Hold on.
Want me to add it? There you go. That's gone.
That was weird. Huh.
Thank you, Buffy.
It's saying before presenting a screen, remove other media streams from your stage.
Okay, there we go. Now you should do it. There we go.
That's
Fuck
weird.
you, StreamYard. Fuck you.
How was that? StreamYard sucks. All right, what we got is Justin Lin will direct the live-action adaptation of Berserker. Comic was co-created by Keanu Reeves and he will star in the film.
Finally.
So get rid of all those Berserker ones you have in your long boxes.
Oh no, I got the hardback trades from Kickstarter. Those are the ones
Did you get the one signed by Keanu Reeves?
No, I did not get the one signed by Keanu Reeves.
I think those are still available on Boom at one time. Not too long ago.
No, I funded the Kickstarter before the comic came out, and they sent me my 3 hardback trades, and I was like, oh, that's fine.
Close your clown porn, Bruce.
I am not watching videos of Marco. Thank you very much.
I'm glad I've wanted this to happen because they were talking about it from the second they launched the book. So
yeah,
and he ain't getting any younger.
Yeah, I got a 1 in 500 foil somewhere.
Oh, this one,
like $40. No, another one.
I think this is like a 1 in 200 or 300 signed by this Frizen, which I will definitely try and sell as soon as the trailer drops.
it's gonna be a few years before this comes out. He'll be using a walker in the movie.
Yeah, he's a fit man. He's quite fit. If Liam Neeson can go out there and still make action movies, I think Keanu can go out.
I don't want to Google how old he is because
Fuck some
he's
people
probably older than I am, and that's really going to make me feel like shit. In fact, I'm almost positive he's older than I am.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another John Wick type film. Blah blah blah. No dialogue. A lot of killing. A lot of action.
I only read. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think there'll be more dialogue with this because there is a whole mythology behind it, and I don't know. I'm happy for it.
I read. I think I read the first issue of this and then stopped because, and not to sound like a spoiled, but this thing definitely had vibes of Lazarus. Remember the Image comic called Lazarus? This thing had vibes of Lazarus, and it kind of pissed me off because I always thought they should have made a show out of that comic. But now, because this one has ties to Keanu Reeves, they're going to go with this one. So it's kind of like, yeah. Okay. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure I'll watch it. But yeah.
Like I say, they were talking about the desire to make this a live action project from the time the comic came out. So I'm glad there's at least finally some traction behind it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a crossover with Lazarus.
You can get a CGC 9.8 of this book for like $50.
Well, there are 8,000 million copies of it of Berserker 1.
Yeah. Buy 1,000 copies, get a signed copy from Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember all those copies of Southern? Was that what I bought?
Southern Bastards.
Southern Bastards. Yeah, I bought a bunch of Lazarus comics too, thinking that that was back in the days where everything you thought was going to be the next Walking Dead, you're just like, Image number 1, I got to buy that. Give me like 30 of those things.
And we got a what was that? Last week we had a Berserker 1 in 1,000 9.8 signed by Keanu himself for $2,800.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, everybody
showed up at a comic shop the other day just randomly, and because I guess he's friends with the owner or whatever, just stopped in, just go look at some comics, and just sat down, signed some stuff for people. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah, everything you read about this guy is he's a class guy. He's a class act kind. I do remember reading that when he did the final John Wick, was it 4? I guess. That because he's one of those guys that does, I guess, as many of his own stunts as he can, and I remember him saying that that movie damn near killed him. That it took him. It was very hard for him to do that movie because of how physically taxing it was. So yeah, we'll see. He may have to say uncle before Tom Cruise does, I guess, and say, hey, I need be some stuntmen.
Well, he doesn't have Xenu on his side like Cruz, so it's
that prison you can get for $50 in a 9.8.
The one I just showed.
It's the raw or not the raw, the virgin or the trade dress.
Are you talking about the one I just showed?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the virgin.
Yeah.
The virgin. You get it $15.
Virgin foil signed.
The foil $30.
Yeah. But is it signed by Jenny Friesen?
Nope.
You could tack on another $10 for that.
101.
Okay, Dom.
It's a 101, damn it.
Sign it this way instead of this way, so it's a 101.
Her T. She crossed her T, or there's no T's in her name. Never mind.
All right. Next up,
Fritzen.
Peaky Blinders movie will be getting a theatrical release. This is a first for Netflix.
Nice.
I tried to watch this show. I could not. I know this show has a lot of buzz. People love it. I guess I think I got in way too late on this show when it already was in like its 6th or 7th season, and I was just overwhelmed by it all.
I liked the first few seasons. I kind of fell off of it after. But First couple seasons were absolutely fantastic. Tom Hardy's role in Peaky Blinders was fantastic.
I know people are gonna love it. I mean, Chico's already
Yeah,
saying
people
he's
love
in.
it. This was a great series.
Yeah, it was. Good. I'm glad it's getting a theatrical release. That's nice.
Terry, I don't know about your.
I know. I loved
Ooh.
Psych the series. I love the movie.
I may get my Lazarus.
I'd be happy with another Psych movie. It was a delightful fucking series.
Yeah, Psych is good.
I know Pete's behind that too, because Pete's a big Psych fan as well.
And finally, glad Dom isn't here.
Oh, must be Star Wars.
Details on George Lucas' canceled Star Wars Underworld show. 60 scripts were nearly complete.
The only thing Dom wants to see from Star Wars.
What are we talking about this for?
Episodes were dark, sexy, and more violent than anything that came prior. It cost $40 million per episode. They wanted John Williams to score all the episodes. Scrapped because it was too expensive. This is right before he sold it to Disney. This was what he was working on.
This can't be true in terms of $40 million an episode, because they sold to Disney quite a long time ago. And I can't imagine in back then money doing something that costs $40 million an episode. It seems insane.
15 million an episode, maybe.
This was
even back then. That's ridiculous.
I just sexy. Like, how sexy? Are we talking like sexy, more sexy than 3 boobied women, like in Total Recall? What are we talking about? I mean, how sexy are we talking? How sexy is the
George
underworld?
Lucas sexy. So that meant brother and sister. Oh, no mind.
Yeah, I still wish. I'm kind of in the Dom camp on this in terms of this is the Star Wars I would like to see. They can still keep putting out the other crap, but I just don't understand why they don't do an Underworld. They introduced pirates and bounty hunters and smugglers, and they introduced all these interesting characters, but they're always on the periphery. Unless it's an elderly man who sleeps in the back of the tank and then decides he doesn't want to be a bad guy anymore.
There's so many rice bowls in Star Wars now with the creators. I can't think of his name now, but anyway, all the
Filoni?
people that say Filoni, the ones that claim ownership of all these characters, and you can't do this because it might interfere with the canon of what he's doing.
Yeah.
I used to really, now I don't care as much anymore. Maybe someday I'll care more about Star Wars again, but I used to really be impressed by the length Star Wars would go through to maintain one canon storyline, as opposed to Marvel and DC and all these different universes and stuff. But I don't know. I think it's too hard, and maybe they should just scrap it.
I mean, to me, but like you can do a Star Wars Underworld, and it's in a fucking universe. A universe is a big place. You don't have
but Underworld was on.
anything.
I mean, unless you do a different Underworld where it's not on that freaking planet. I'm so out of touch of Star Wars now. It's
Coruscant?
not on. What's the name of the planet where the Jedis live?
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Yeah, I guess Coruscant.
I bet
because that's where the original Underworld was, like at the lower levels of Coruscant, right? So,
but
if you do that, you're gonna have a Boba Fett. You're gonna have people screaming for Boba Fett. You're gonna have people screaming for Asajj Ventress. Unfortunately, not just Dom. No, not just Dom. It's gonna be a lot of people.
All right,
what about Boba Fett? He hung out at, and these people, he hung out at 1313 or whatever the fuck.
Mockingbird Lane.
I got some very expensive TV shows and streaming shows. Game of Thrones was 15 million an episode. ER was 13 million an episode.
That was all actors.
ER?
The Pacific was 20 million an episode. Band of Brothers 12.5. Friends was 10 million an episode. Rome was 10 million an episode. Marco Polo 10 million episode. It's been done. Even back then.
This is 40. This is 40. Not 10, not 12, 40. And again, Friends, shows like that, they were very expensive because it was actor salary. That's why Big Bang Theory was expensive, because it was all actor salary. You know, you didn't have to cast any known people in these things. It would have had to all been special effects and shit.
They should have just made like Star Wars Vice and put like Han Solo and Lando Calrissian in a Miami Vice style Star Wars show and have at it. People would watch it.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah,
It's a big universe. You could explore.
George Lucas could have
universe.
did all this stuff in the 90s, but he chose not to.
He took the bag. He took the bag and said, "Fuck you! I'm going to take those billions and grow my chin."
The only ones to blame for that is Star Wars fans.
Are they?
And that is it for the news.
I always kind of scratch my scratch the top of my head when people say they're writing something. Yeah, okay, they're writing it. people write things all the time. That doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't necessarily go anywhere. But yeah, I would have liked to see little underworld action. There's just interesting characters that they never really explore. I guess they wanted to do that with Book of Boba, but then we got Book of Boba. And it wasn't about that. Yeah.
That will be
All right, we're going to close out the show tonight with a little going back in time.
Ooh.
We're going to look at some 80s breakfast cereals. Specifically 80s breakfast cereals that were tied to properties. Now, there was tons of breakfast cereals in the 80s. For you kids out there that weren't alive during the 80s, basically anything and everything that could have a intellectual property was turned into a breakfast cereal that was filled with sugar. The fact we're all not walking around with insulin needles sticking out of us at all times is amazing.
Right.
I just say I have high hopes for this segment because a lot of times you guys will talk about cartoons and stuff, and I grew up with 2 channels, and I didn't have access to all these cartoons. But by God, I had cereal. I grew up. I survived off cereal as a young child. So I have high hopes for this that I will actually know something in this segment.
Yeah, there's a good number. I didn't do too many, but there's a good number in here that are pretty good. So let's start off. Nothing. Said 80s like Pac-Man. E.T. was huge, and the cereal looked like your dog shit in a bowl. But they were actually little ETs. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but they were little crunchy E's and T's. But all put in a bowl together, it looked like very stringy dog shit. Pac-Man, good cereal. Marshmallows, never go wrong with the marshmallow cereal. It's nice. Those marshmallows, which for some reason are crunchy, are always delicious. And you could get that badass painter's cap, which were also all the rage in the 80s. Everyone loved the painter's cap.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing Styx isn't on the show. Nobody tells Styx that we're doing this. We're ripping off his time tunnel. I think Styx is busy watching. He's watching Doctor Who, so maybe he won't notice.
So, again, for you kids out there that weren't from the 80s, beautiful things about breakfast cereals were, number one, they always had great mail-ins. Number two, a lot of them had shit in the box. There were toys.
Bazooka a great mail-in?
No, but that was inside the box. You didn't have to mail in for Bazooka. You just
Free
fucking
nickel
reached
candy.
in there and got some free fucking gum. That was
Free nickel
wonderful.
candy.
There was always fun stuff.
More sugar. Yeah.
More sugar.
My
more
mom
sugar.
would not. My mom would not buy this fancy uppity high class cereals. These little fancy Hollywood cereals that Joe's got on the screen right now. My mom was not about those at all.
Well, that's all you're getting. Or the highfalutin IP related cereal.
Yep.
You Hollywood lifestyle cereals.
No Waffle-Os for you.
No
G.I.
black
Joe.
label cornflakes or generic cornflakes.
No. G.I. Joe had action stars, which was fun. Unfortunately, they decided to put Duke on the cover for some dumb reason. But nonetheless, I mean, G.I. Joe was a big thing for kids. You have your cereal in the morning. It's like, oh, fuck, G.I. Joe. It's awesome.
I think they had different characters on the boxes. I don't think it was just Duke. I think one had Gung Ho and one had.
I think on the back there were Snake Eyes on the back of the box.
Yeah.
Had Snake Eyes. Good old Post Smurfberry Crunch, which was absolutely delicious. Smurfs were big. Smurfs were big back then. And look, you can inside the box you can get stickers. You get stickers with your fucking box. The G.I. Joe, there was a camo action T-shirt offer. That's fantastic.
I think
You're eating you're eating that shit all the time anyway. All you gotta do is cut
Do they
out
still
the
put stuff in
UPCs.
cereal? I don't eat
Sometimes.
cereal anymore.
No, I haven't
Sometimes.
seen. I haven't seen it for a while. But if they do, it's shit. It's crap.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
it's like a lenticular.
No tattoos. They don't put tattoos in cereal.
Yeah.
What? Corrupt our kids?
I mean, the Dunkin' Donuts guy. That was a pretty popular commercial back in the 80s. And they just parlayed that into a Dunkin'
Time to
Donuts
make
cereal.
the donuts.
Yep.
You know, and
Good old Phil.
You could send away for an amazing Blackstone card trick system. That's fucking awesome. Who doesn't want to be a fucking magician and you get beat up by other children?
3 apples tall. Thanks, Mama.
Isn't there a Smurfs movie coming out soon or something? I think I
Yes.
saw a trailer
Yes.
for it.
Probably.
Can't think of that. With Rihanna as Smurfette.
Yeah, with Rihanna. Yeah.
Exactly. Painter's hat and a buckwheat shirt. That's the 80s, baby. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had a cereal that was out there. It was kind of like a rice Chex, corn Chex type cereal with some marshmallow turtles in there and swords and nunchucks, which is fun. You had not only a Donkey Kong Jr., but also a Donkey Kong cereal. The Donkey Kong Jr., better cereal if you're a fruity fan, but you got some Pez inside too. So if the sugar from the cereal didn't give you diabetes, the Pez that you ate after definitely would. And Donkey Kong was a pretty straightforward cereal, but it was a crunchy barrel of fun.
I have some Pez from the 90s that I've been debating whether or not I want to try to eat one of or not.
I don't think it really goes bad.
I think it's just sugar, right? I mean,
It's just
sugar
sugar.
doesn't go bad.
It's just pure sugar. For the ladies out there, you had your Rainbow Bright cereal.
Say that
Hell,
now,
they had the Cabbage Patch, which was apparently a low sugar cereal.
Made
Cabbage
of
Patch
cabbage.
Kids. I will never forget watching the news and watching all the fights that Christmas when Cabbage Patch Kids came out. It was glorious. It was glorious to watch. I mean,
that was back when Black Fridays were fun. Nowadays it's all online now. They've just taken all the fun out of it.
you were going to come home with a Cabbage Patch Kid or a black eye. Those were your choices. Of course, Strawberry Shortcake had a cereal as well.
Oh, God. Save 15 cents.
Yeah. Oh, and the Rainbow Bright. Look, there was you could send away for a kite. That's fun as a kid. Back when kids used to go outdoors, it's a kite. That's fun.
All right. This next one I've never seen.
What, the crunchy
The
stuff?
crunchy. I've never seen that.
Yes,
That is great.
Yes. Posted. The Muppets were big. And everyone loved the
I
Swedish
still
Chef.
love the Muppets.
And he did have his crunchy stars. Gremlin cereal, always fun. You got
All
some
right, so
Gremlin
I got a
stickers
question about the
inside.
Gremlin cereal. Probably the technology wasn't there. May not still may not be there. But if you pour milk on them and then they turn into the creature gremlins, that would have been awesome.
Oh, that would have been nice. At least if they turned green, that would have been fun.
Yeah, turned ugly.
But no dice there. Nerds had a cereal, which I think was recently reintroduced. I think I remember seeing it in the store recently. But look, you get a free frisbee. There were Nerds collectible pins.
Did they separate the cereal in the box like they do in the candy with the different flavors?
Yes.
Oh, that's.
I think it was two separate bags.
That's classy.
Yeah, it was nice. It was like, oh, this pure sugar candy I love now has a cereal that's pure sugar.
These are all uppity brunch cereals. Joe's showing
these were so much fun. Because again, not only like as a kid, you were completely entertained, not only with eating your cereal, but you had the box there. You're thinking about, oh shit, there's a sticker inside. I can reach in and pour. Or there was always that kid that would get the big bowl and pour out all the cereal to get the toy, because they didn't put them in the side of the box. It was in the cereal. Your toys and shit were put in the cereal. You had to wait till you got to the end or pour out the whole thing.
Whatever germs you had on your hand was going in that cereal.
Oh, there was a lot of digging going on. And then on the back, you always had like a game or activity. It was fun. There were Urkelos, by the way.
Urkel cereal? Oh my God, you're making these up. Stop it.
Okay. Did I eat that?
Yes, there were Muppet Babies cereal as well. Quite popular back in the 80s. And there was a Tiny Toon Adventures. There's some free fan cards there. It's always fun. And you can there's a game on the back of the package where you can help Urkel find Laura.
You know,
that's fantastic.
Kids today, I include my own kids in this because my kids are older now. So even kids, I would say, or was Gen X probably the last generation that appreciated what was that pretty much memorized the back of cereal boxes, that just knew. Nowadays, kids have their phones, they're all this other stuff to occupy to grab their attention. Back in our day, when you were eating cereal at the breakfast table, you had that box of cereal right in front of you, and you were memorizing everything about the back of that cereal.
Now, if you lived in a classy house, maybe you had a 13-inch TV in there with the tiny little screen and then the rabbit ears. Those one of those little TVs.
We had a radio in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't have a TV in my kitchen. It was. Oh, there you go. Crunchy Stars?
Yeah. Sold for $100.
Wow. There you go. Like I said, cereal boxes, I do not doubt that cereal box collecting is a popular thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It was fun. It was good times. If you're a fan of wrestling, you can get your WWF Superstars. Remember, kids, it used to be called WWF.
I remember.
Oh, yeah, Mr. T. Wow. Mr. T cereal was very popular after Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And the Bill and Ted's Excellent cereal looks like it has marshmallow dildos in it, but I believe those are musical notes.
Yes, they are.
Now you tell me.
Yeah. The Mr. T cereal was that. If you had Mr. T cereal, good on you, the mother that bought their child that.
Spoiling your children. These fancy breakfast treats.
And the movies, popular movies would even get their breakfast cereals as well. So you had your Batman 89. Everyone loved their little yellow bat cereal. C-3POs were quite popular, even though the cereal itself was about as exciting as C-3PO himself.
No, stop it. Shut up. I was watching this. I was going to forward it to Dom, but I didn't want to start the whole thing. I was watching this video of this because there are people out there, younger people, that have never watched Star Wars, right? And I find it funny to watch these videos. They video themselves because that's what young people do nowadays. They video themselves. So I watched this video of this girl who videoed herself watching Star Wars for the very first time. And it was funny when she got to C-3PO, she goes, "Oh, I love that little gay droid." Okay. She's like, "Oh, I love that gay droid." Like, all right.
It's funny, for all of the Star Wars and how popular Star Wars was, they decided to go with C-3PO for the cereal.
Hey, C-3PO is the narrator of Star Wars.
It was a good box though. It's a good solid. The graphics on the box are solid. And I never even realized this existed. I didn't realize there was an Indiana Jones cereal, but apparently there was an Indiana Jones cereal. So you can get your Harrison Ford fix since you didn't get Han Solo on a cereal, and you were stuck with C-3PO. So you can get your Harrison Ford fix with your Indiana Jones cereal.
Hey, I may be on the hunt for that C-3PO box now.
There's a lot of them out there. It's quite a popular collectible.
I still have that. What was it? Not Wheaties. Cornflakes one with the C-3PO and R2-D2 on it.
Oh, nice.
I want the. We're getting off topic a little bit, but I still want the C-3PO tape dispensers. What I really want. Those things are, those things are hard to find. They're expensive. If you do find one.
And I believe that's what we have for breakfast cereals. Yep,
nice.
That's what we got. So a little nostalgia 80s for you viewers out there that were alive in the 80s and remember sitting around the kitchen table in the morning as your parents did other things, because that's what happened in the 80s. Parents did other things and kids were left to their own devices. Hey, here's you know where the milk is, you know where the cereal is. Sit down and eat.
Yep.
You remember, man, back in the day, and that segment was really good because it really spun up some old stuff. Man, they used to put stuff in everything. Remember that? I mean, the Star Wars Wonder Bread cards are still probably my favorite Star Wars card to this day. The ones that were inserted into the Wonder Bread. Just pizza, frozen pizza, they put stuff in. Oh, yeah. I mean, they used to put like stuff in everything.
Oh yeah. There was so much that was just geared specifically toward children. And now you don't have that. I mean, you got sugary cereals and shit like that still, but in the 80s, they tried to weave pop culture into your eating habits in every way, shape, and form. If there was a new cartoon out that was really popular, it was going to have a toy, then a cartoon, then a breakfast cereal. It was just a constant progression.
You know, kids, we wanted it, right? And if your parents were strict or, you know, on a budget or whatever, of course, a lot of times they couldn't afford the what I call the uppity fancy cereals.
Hell yeah.
But they were pretty much the same cereal as the other stuff. They just cut them in different shapes, right? I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, for the most part, that's all it was. I mean,
it's either fruity, chocolatey, or, you know, Captain Crunchy. It's all kind of the same flavor, just different shapes.
Yeah,
throw some marshmallows in there.
My family never really bought the really super shitty cereals that were the fun cereals, but you would always, you know, stay over a friend's house or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they were a house that had all the crap and shit, and it was magical. It was fucking magical.
Yeah, I think it's fancy as we got
cereal.
I think Golden Grams were about as fancy as we got in my house.
You know, it was a magical time.
This is a damn good cereal, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is, still is. But as a child, a cereal could make your day. Now, granted, I could put cereal in front of my kid today, and he's not going to give two shits. I don't care what kind of cereal it is. He's not going to care. But that made our day as a kid. So yeah, it was nice to bring back the memories a little bit. All right, well, we're nearing the end of the show here. So if you haven't subbed up, please sub up to Rennavision, sub up to Kingdom of Nerds. Bruce, what you got on the table?
Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Only Slab with Rob, showing off 24 slabs.
Are these going to be brand new slabs, or are these slabs you're pulling out of your collection and you're just first time showing it on its show, or what?
My first time showing them on that show.
Okay.
You know, there has to be a story to go along with the slabs, how you got them, or something reminds you of childhood, or you connect the slab to something, or there's 24 books. They do a giveaway.
I stabbed a guy in the alley for this thing.
You should have just done all Raz.
On the run from the cops.
These are all books I won on Raz.
And every super chat for Only Slabs show goes to Comics Curing Cancer, so they do a good thing. So if you're gonna watch tomorrow, donate some money to fighting cancer.
There you go.
And will you be giving away any of these slabs?
I will not be giving away anything tomorrow. My giveaway was last week.
Oh.
I gave away a lot of stuff last week. Oh, yeah. And Styx didn't win anything, so that's a good thing.
Screw your charity. No,
nope.
Jeez.
What we got going on Sunday? What were we doing Sunday this week?
The other comic book show and FOC, blah blah blah, new books. And I just started a series for all those people wondering what are DCUs. So if you head over my channel, it's called DCUs on the Hunt. I have 2 episodes up. It will be a weekly show with me and D Miller. We are becoming DCU experts now. Allegedly.
Say, how can anybody that's watched you on any of these shows not know what DCU is?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm the most ignorant person on YouTube that talks about talks about comics, and even I know what DCU is because of all the shows I've done with you.
Yeah, DCU's on the Hunt, or Brucifer shoves DCU's down your throat again.
Brucifer's DCU. Take this, damn it.
You will take my list and like it, damn it.
Bye.
You got another DCU lover on that show, so it's good and informative. Get to get all the inside scoop on
I was trying to see if
500 plus DCUs that are out there.
I was trying to see if he knew any of the Arizona guys. That's where he's from. So if he does know them, he's not admitting it.
I only read comics that Brucifer makes. Chico, I only read comics that Brucifer makes me read, so I didn't.
Make sure you sub up to Styx. I don't care if you sub up to my channel, but I have one. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate you coming over. Now that we moved to single stream on Fridays, we'll just be broadcasting from Rennavision headquarters for the Friday shows, and we appreciate you joining us.
Broadcasting from the top
Kingdom
of
came over.
Rennavision Towers, which is like,
you guys proved certain people wrong. You did come over. Thank you for coming over to Rennavision channel.
Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me, or who are you talking about?
We're talking about all the wonderful people from Kingdom of Nerds that normally watch over there that came over to join us.
I know you're talking about. You're not talking about me. Okay, good. I know you're talking about me.
My 2 people will get lost.
I think you could be talking about.
Yeah, I just figured you had the window open twice, Styx, for the show.
Oh. Wait, so your 2 viewers are your son and your daughter?
Yeah, maybe.
You do it for sure.
We definitely appreciate it. I think we have a great audience and a great community here. Great people in the chat. It's a nice, laid-back, fun community. No bullshit, no drama.
If you're not watching Styx dig dirt on his channel, I don't know. You're missing out. I don't.
Yeah. As always, before our show, the CBSI Hot 10 premieres Fridays at 9, followed by us. Tomorrow night, SNS. Styx, anything special planned? You got time tunnel tomorrow?
I will have a time tunnel tomorrow. I do not know if there's anything special.
It's gonna be about 80 cereal. It's just gonna be the easiest transition ever.
Hey, you're gonna have a time tunnel.
I'll send you my slides, Styx.
I'm gonna have a back in time section.
On Sunday, if you want to know anything about Star Wars, please watch Tales from the Dark Side with Marco and Wayseeker and
No
Dom, JJ.
Oh,
Styx, you should do the exact same. I'm serious. You're not going to do it, but you should do the exact same segment. Only instead of having the DeLorean time machine, you should have Bill and Ted up there. Other than that, it's the exact same slides that Joe just did tonight. Just change that one little graphic at the top.
That'd be fantastic.
I almost forgot. Tomorrow at what time? Tomorrow at
I got my gold dust ready, Mama.
10 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch Pete on Comics with Cliff in the morning.
Oh, he's doing tomorrow. Tomorrow he's doing the show.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
I thought it was the 14th.
God,
The 14th is Marco.
That's like
14th is Marco.
That's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. No, I'll catch that on the rewind.
Yeah, I'll catch that one probably on the rewind because I'm
I wish,
sleeping
Jason.
tomorrow.
I wish.
And as always on Wednesdays, you can watch the totally awesome, coolest show, the Tech Show with Marco, Dub, and Pete. Wednesdays at 9:15. Catch Bruce on the Other Comic Show Sunday nights, and Monday Madness on Mondays, and Power Hour when you guys do that. And if there's
If I can get Max to stay awake.
and if there's an interesting trailer that drops, there will definitely be a reaction video on Bruce's channel.
And Thursday nights, if you like wrestling, come on over and watch me, Matt, and Dom over on Absolute Geek Podcast
Later, Chico.
channel. We did a recap of Elimination Chamber this Thursday, and we'll be doing a recap of all the wrestling stuff that you like this coming Thursday.
Yeah, you guys put together a good wrestling show.
And if you haven't watched already, watch my latest episode of On the Hunt right here in the chat. There's the link. Leave a comment, thumbs up. Let's get this series going.
And again, please feel free to leave comments in the YouTube comments after the show. Things you want to see. We'll probably redo this segment at some point, maybe for another list.
Send me links to some hometown news because it's hard coming up with things. To talk about.
I have a couple for you, Jedi.
And we're sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. We were going to do. I know last week kind of promised we were going to do the what's become slightly, even though we've done it once. We were going to do Dom makes a porno this week, but Dom had to pull a double. So sorry. Kind of feel like I lied a little bit, but we'll do it.
Yeah,
doing a double porno.
It's one of those segments that's
beyond our control.
It doesn't go stale either. We can do it anytime, so we'll do it.
Yeah. It was circumstances beyond our control tonight with Dom having to work a double.
Not always fresh either.
Last minute, so
yeah, it's not fresh.
You'll get it next week.
It's like pads. It just is.
It sits there.
It just lasts forever. It's always good. So we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Thank you very much. Have a happy, safe weekend, and we will see you again next week.
The qualified. The qualified.